Apologies to everybody for the quality of the video this week. We had a massive storm last night with lightning. It ended up taking out most of our computer equipment, so we're doing this from a laptop with apologies for the quality in advance. This is the Monday line. Manti Te'o, Texas versus Roe, and GOP dysfunction. In a week where the biggest news should have been the historic re-inauguration of an African-American president to a second term in the USA, we instead had ludicrous stories about an American college football player allegedly duped by a huckster pretending to be his girlfriend. We also had the growth of ridiculous trap laws making abortion legal but impossible in Texas and other U.S. southern states on the 40th anniversary of the historic Roe versus Wade decision, and a Republican Party clearly learning nothing from its drubbing at the polls 3 months ago and bent on self-immolation. By week's end, one would think it was the anti-abortion GOP with imaginary friends. Oh, Manti. Manti Te'o is a gifted athlete who also happens to be a naive young Mormon male. Hello, has anyone seen the Book of Mormon musical? Do you not get the wide-eyed innocence with which these young men live their teenage lives? No premarital sex is allowed, no liquor. Just go to temple often and study hard. Young men like Manti's age are out on missions across the world being exposed to rejection from people who don't want to hear about their religion and taught the very hard lessons of life. Manti is a man-child with enormous skill. Runner-up for the Heisman Trophy Award, his main objective is to stand in the middle of the defense of a football pitch and tear the heads off of opposing players as they approach his area of the field. He does that better than anyone else in college, and he'll likely be taken in the first round of the National Football League draft and earn in excess of $100 million playing this game over his career. And imagine experiencing maturing into university life at an academic football factory like Notre Dame University without experiencing parties, drink, and women? Suddenly he has a girlfriend talking with and expressing her love. How could this go on for years? Reread the previous paragraph, or what I just said. His church forbids him from doing anything else. So when it came crashing down and he realized he'd been duped, it was no surprise. The guy is horrifically naive and embarrassed. And he's 22 years old. The things I did at age 22 are not printable and a source of great personal embarrassment. Young people make lots of mistakes. And as the truth comes out, we'll probably see there was a plan here to part Manti with a large chunk of money that went bust when word leaked out on the website Deadspin. I often use the phrase to describe what happened to Te'o this way. When a person with experience meets a person with money, or about to get lots of it, the person with experience ends up with the money, and the person with the money, they end up with an experience. The only thing Manti Te'o lost here was face. He probably considers himself very lucky. Roe versus Wade versus Texas. This past week on the award-winning NPR Fresh Air broadcast, a woman living in Texas retold her very tragic story of being told her child in utero had a serious brain and spine development issue that could kill him. It would kill him before term or guarantee a life of unimaginable pain. Faced with this probability, she and her partner instinctively decided to terminate the pregnancy. They got a second specialist ultrasound that confirmed the diagnosis, then under state law had to wait 24 hours and undergo a third Texas state mandated ultrasound and listen to a script that was the most gut-wrenching, insensitive, and out-of-touch, guilt-inducing screed imaginable. You can listen to their broadcast on the NPR website, Fresh Air website. Every woman wanting a legal abortion in Texas has to endure this indignity that no one wants except the lawmakers. And in some states, the requirement is that a doctor insert a probe, an ultrasound probe into their vagina. What is this, Sir Laurence Olivier's dental drilling torture of Dustin Hoffman in the film Marathon Man? Texas lawmakers also so hate the women's health care organization Planned Parenthood, the biggest group serving low-income women in that state, that they turned down a federal $9 to $1 matching grant just to put them out of business? 3% of their work is providing abortions. 97% of it provides vital medical screening services for poor women that they now force this medieval and barbaric system to dissuade women from exercising their legal right? How is this legal? The GOP is so cowardly. They never go directly after a law. They instead build traps, making it impossible. They did this with online gambling. They couldn't make it illegal. Instead, they made it illegal to process one's winning payments through the U.S. federal funds clearing system, used by every bank and credit card provider. That rendered it impossible, absolutely impossible for anyone who won to collect their winnings and thus shut down internet gambling. And they're doing the same thing to abortion rights in states across the southern USA. They cannot win in court, so they harass women who now deliver 24,000 more unwanted babies in Texas in 2013. The state could care less about them and will not provide for them. So explain to me, how is that pro-life? And finally, GOP gerrymandering. Members of the Republican, GOP, Tea Party, whatever you want to call it, they just keep hitting themselves in the head over and over again, pressing the stupid button. It's as if the November 6th election never happened to them, and yet one of their most prominent spokespersons, and someone mentioned as a 2016 candidate, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, said in a speech at their retreat, quote, "We've got to stop being the stupid party, and I'm serious. It's time for a new Republican Party that talks like adults. It's time for us to articulate our plans and our vision in real terms. It's no secret that we had a number of Republicans that damaged the brand this year with offensive and bizarre comments. I'm here to say we've had enough of that." Well, Bobby, this week a bunch more members of your party spectacularly did not get that memo. The list of stupid is so long they have to be reduced to bullet points just to get through them. Now, when you crash the car, do you give the keys back to the impaired driver who caused the crash? Well, the GOP did just that, re-electing Chairman Reince Priebus to a second term as chairman, despite an historic presidential loss and deeper losses in the U.S. Senate. The crazy thing? He was unopposed. It took 5 ballots to get him elected the first time, and he gets re-elected by unanimous consent? The guy who failed by every measure is back. Go on, tell me more about how you're not going to do stupid things. The day before the inauguration of President Obama, the junior senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, said the president, quote, exploited dead children within minutes of the Newtown massacre. He went on to say that the gun show registration loophole, which causes more than half the guns to get out onto the street, does not exist, when it's been documented that millions of firearms trade hands without registration, so terrorists and criminals can easily pick up a weapon at them. Is there some sort of magic potion these Tea Partiers are drinking that makes fact instantly fiction? The coordinated effort to rig the Electoral College system in the USA gained traction in 6 states. Chairman Priebus endorsed the attempt in Wisconsin, Virginia, Florida, Michigan, and several other states. These are all controlled by Republican legislatures to allocate votes proportionately rather than winner take all. This would mean the 3 million vote margin of victory by President Obama in the popular vote would have resulted in him losing the general election in the Electoral College. This was so repugnant that even some Republicans came out against rigging the game to win. Said a Florida elections official, "We don't need to rig the game. We need to do a better job." And as many pundits point out, if the candidate for 2016 is Hillary Clinton, the Democrats sweep Texas and Arizona and place a number of southern states with very large growing Hispanic populations in play. So just keep bringing on the crazy, Republicans. You seem incapable of following the sage advice of many good friends. When you're stuck in a hole, stop digging.